Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1981 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Cleveland Indians and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Indians is John Denny, whose record is 2-4 with a 4.63 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers is Bruce Robbins, whose record is 1-2 with a 7.02 ERA. And so we took another hard loss yesterday, making us 7-10 for the month of May, and 2 games under 500. And so I'm sure that if you're following along with this season, you know that it is a strike-shortened season, so we're only playing 110 games. And because of that, we're really running out of time. And as I've illustrated in other videos, that our team here has many players who are on the verge of either free agency or arbitration. And so taking a look here just to show once again, all of these players, pretty much all of my major everyday players, our contracts are up, and we're going to have to make some decisions. Here are the people going to arbitration at the end of the season. So, I'm going to have to actually start either trading players or just cutting them so I can give roster spots to other players to kind of give myself an idea of whether or not they're going to be future Detroit Tigers. And so I'm not sure why, but here it shows Ricky Henderson having 3 years. But if you click on him, it does say he goes to arbitration at the end of this year. So I don't know what that means, but one way or another, that's just got to be a glitch. One way or another, we are definitely keeping Ricky Henderson. And so after today's game, win or lose, I am going to start making some deals because I don't think we have much of a chance as we play another, 5 more games against the first place Orioles. Before the end of the month. And then in June here, we have the draft on the 3rd, the 4th, I guess I should say. And so, we're basically, without being out of the, mathematically eliminated, we are really out of the race, as we're not going to catch Boston, Baltimore, or New York. I don't know if Milwaukee is as good as they're playing, but we're equal to Cleveland, and that's really not a team you want to be equal to. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking, and I'll keep everyone in the loop. We did make a trade yesterday where we traded away AAA starting pitcher Larry Pashnick to Houston, and we got back 2 players we have in the minor leagues right now. One is Mickey Hatcher, who's actually a better third base candidate than either Gross or Tommy Brookins, and also another outfielder, Jeffrey Leonard, who his position is basically blocked right now. So as we consider who we're going to trade, he'll probably find himself with a position here the next couple of days on the Major League roster. So we have Bruce Robbins on the mound. I think we're going to be keeping him. He's not pitching too good in the couple of starts he's had, but his ratings are high, and we're definitely going to keep him around. Jerry Uger will not be available today. He pitched 4 innings, giving up only 1 run in relief yesterday of Bryn Smith, who made his first start for Detroit and was terrible. So I don't know. He's really playing into our future, Bryn Smith, but he got off to a bad start. And here's our lineup. The only player that's different is Wayne Gross is in there at 3rd for Tom Brookins. And otherwise, everything else is the same. Let's go ahead and do the Indians lineup rundown. Looks like they have 1 different player, and that is at catcher. Leading off and playing second base is Kevin Romberg. Batting second and at first base is Carl Pagel. Batting third in right field is Gary Matthews. Batting cleanup and at first base is Andre Thornton. Batting fifth and catching today is Bo Diaz. Batting sixth in left field is Joe Charbonneau. Batting seventh and at third base is Mike Champion. Batting eighth in center field is Rick Manning. And batting ninth at shortstop is Tom Verizer. And here's Bruce Robbins getting the start today, his fourth start of the season. He did get injured, missed the whole month. And he is 1-2 in those three starts so far. And with that 7.02 ERA, not great. More walks than strikeouts, which is not something you want, right? And opponents have been beating up on him with a 3.33 opponent's batting average. And Boston crushed him. Although Boston's first place team, he can only get to 4 2/3 inning, giving up 6 runs in his last start. So hopefully we'll have a better result today. Not that it's going to change the fate of this team. And so defensive line up out there, as you can see there, with Wayne Gross now at third base. And Kevin Romberg leading off against Bruce Robbins, and he walks Romberg. How many games have we started in a row with a walk from our starting pitcher? So runner on first, got a lot of speed. Carl Pagel up next, hits it right back to Robbins, and they only get Romberg at second, so one down. Runner on first for Gary Matthews, batting .304 versus lefties. And a wild pitch by Robbins moves Pagel into scoring position. So that's not good. As you can see, there's a bunch of righties in a row here. Oops, I thought I pushed the button. There we go. Ground ball by Matthews. And JT steps on the bag for the second out. That's going to leave it up to Andre Thornton to get the job done. Batting only .209 versus lefties. And Thornton hits a ground ball to Whitaker. He makes the play, and we go to the bottom of the first. Here is the lineup rundown for Detroit. Batting leadoff and playing center field is Ricky Henderson. Batting second and at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting third and DHing is Kirk Gibson. Batting cleanup and at first base is Jason Thompson. Batting fifth and in left field is Steve Kemp. Batting sixth in right field is Gary Hancock. Batting seventh and catching is Lance Parrish. Batting eighth at second base is Sweet Lou Whitaker. And batting ninth at third base is Wayne Gross. John Denny on the mound for the Indians, 9-19 last year. Pretty bad record on a last place team. He did have that 4.96 ERA, 102 walks, only 121 Ks, and 246 innings pitched. Opponents batted .276 against him last year with those 7 complete games. This year, not much better. Improved slightly with his ERA at 4.63. Opponents are actually hitting him around much more, batting .297, and he does have a complete game as well. So he's their number one pitcher. It's hard to call him an ace, but he is the Indians' pitcher in the number one position in the rotation, as Ricky Henderson leads off with a ground ball to short. He is huge, in a huge slump right now. And Trammell, base at the center, he's been picking up Henderson's slack. Do we want to go for 2? Yeah, we're going to go for 2. It's a 50-50 shot. It's early, and Trammell does have himself a double. So a great job by Tram, and I think this deserves a look-see here. Take a look at his game log. 4 games in a row with 2 hits. And, wow, actually 7 out of 8 with a minimum of 2 hits. He's already started off with a hit. So Trammell is on fire right now. Here's Gibby, Trammell in scoring position. Base hit to left by Gibby. Will Trammell score? He does score. And we're not going to risk it with Gibson. We are going to give JT a chance to swing away. Thompson's pretty hot too, batting .292 versus lefties. And leading the team in RBIs, ground ball right to the left of the bag, and that is an easy double play. So we left a runner at first. We do have the 1-0 lead though on the RBI single by Gibby. And we go to the top of the second, 1-0 Detroit. Here's Bo Diaz, his first appearance in the series. Wow, he's hitting lefties pretty good. Batting .545, I'm sure in limited duty. And there's a base hit up the middle. Bo Diaz cannot be stopped except for by a DirecTV dish, which, as I've illustrated in other videos, fell off his roof and killed him. Joe Charbonneau pops it up in the foul ground on the third base side, caught by Gross. So one down, runner on first for Mike Champion. Champion hits a ground ball right to Trammell, and a double play. So we go to the bottom of the second with Steve Kemp leading off, and we do have Steve Kemp on a 3-year deal, but I think Kemp is definitely a major trade candidate. I mean, he's struggling this year, but we have Gibby to move into left field, and I think I would rather have Gibson out there. Steve Kemp is only, I think, 26 years old in this game as Gary Hancock grounds out to second base. So 2 down for Lance Parrish. I mean, a lot of really tough decisions to be made. I love Steve Kemp, one of my favorite Tigers, but in real life he was already off the Tigers by now. Traded to the White Sox for Chet Lemon as we go to the top of the third. There's a lefty on lefty here as Manning hits a ground ball right back to Robbins, and Robbins throws him out. Here's the other Indian player we're seeing for the first time, Tom Verizer, former Detroit Tiger and the player who held down the shortstop position before Trammell took over. Verizon flies out to left field. It's 2 down. Back to the top of the lineup for Romberg, and a base hit for Romberg. So he's been on base both times. Walk to lead off the game, and the base hit there. Carl Pagel up next, batting only .170 versus lefties, and a balk by Robbins. Moves Romberg into scoring position. And that's going to be followed up by this fly ball in the left center field. Caught by Kemp. And we go to the bottom of the third. Sweet Lou leading off against Denny. 2 for 11 against Denny in his career. And he strikes out swinging. Whitaker was on the right path there for a while, getting his average up to right around 260. Wayne Gross, he just sucks. We are in such bad shape at third base right now that it won't be too long before we give that job to the recently acquired Mickey Hatcher. Base hit by Henderson. So finally a hit. We're going to, of course, try to steal second. Henderson had a stolen base yesterday. And there's another stolen base. That should be 24. So he's got 24 on the season in, 45 games. So on a, pretty decent clip as Denny throws a wild pitch, moving Henderson to third. I noticed that Denny had 12 wild pitches last season. There's a chance for Trammell to drive him in. Ground ball to third by Tram. And that'll be the end of the bottom of the third. We go to the fourth. And it's 1-0 Detroit. Gary Matthews leading off against Robbins. Oh, there's an infield single by Matthews. And this feels bad already. So runner on first for Andre Thornton. Ground ball to second. Is that going to be 2? Oh, it is a double play. All right, so Tigers infield turns 2. And that'll leave it up to Bo Diaz. Had that base hit earlier. And he pops it up to Gross at third. And there we go. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0 Detroit. Gibby leading off. He shoots it into the right center field gap all the way to the wall. And he's got himself a triple. So Gibby, a leadoff triple to go with his single and RBI. And a good chance here for JT to drive in a run. Let's have a sac fly, please. Ground ball to second. That should get the job done. There we go. So we'll take, the RBI ground out. 2-0 Detroit for Steve Kemp. Kemp pounds it right into the ground as he grounds out to short. So that's 2 down. Here's Gary Hancock. Gary Hancock had a great game yesterday. He's been mostly horrible in the month of May as he pops out to short. And we go to the 5th inning. 2-0 Detroit now as Bruce Robbins faces Super Joe Charbonneau. Charbonneau hits a ground ball to Tram. There's 1 out. Next up is Mike Champion with 1 down. And he's going to get a base hit into right center field. Oh, he's got a double. It didn't really look like it was going to get past Henderson, but I guess it was good enough for a double. It's going to bring up Rick Manning now with Champion in scoring position. Lefty on lefty again. Manning hits a ground ball to Whitaker. And there's 2 down. It's going to leave it up to Verizer to get that run in. Verizer hitless against lefties. Oh, there's a bait. Oh, no, it's a ground ball to short. Oh, man, I thought that was going to get through for sure. But we'll take the out, of course, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. That might be it for Robbins. He's pitching against so many righties. It almost makes sense to try to bring in a righty to go a couple innings. So Lance Parrish leading off the inning, the bottom of the 5th. And he hits a ground ball to Verizer. There's 1 down. Next up is Sweet Lou. Lou hits a line drive to second. And quick 2 outs for Wayne Gross. Oh, man, he had ball 4 right there. But he was swinging. And it's going to be a ground ball to Romberg. We go to the top of the 6th. Going to flip it over to the in-game stats. Who would the player of the game be so far? I guess you got to give it to Gibby. 2 for 2. That triple and an RBI, a couple runs scored. I guess just 1 run scored now that I think about it. Okay, only at 47 pitches. I guess we'll see. We're going to let him get to Pagel at least. And then we'll play it by ear. Oh, come on. So he walks Romberg. Oh, man, I kind of I always go against my gut. And then a stolen base. So, yeah, this is definitely it for him here. Ground ball to short. Romberg, gutsy, moving up to third base as Pagel's gunned down at first. So that's it for Robbins. And we're going to bring in Dave Tobik. Man, we've pitched Tobik a lot lately. I feel like almost every day. But he has been bringing that ERA down, only giving up 1 run in his last, looks like 10 or so appearances. So let's see if we can keep that going. I don't mind giving up that run. Oh, shoot. I gave it up anyway. I didn't even swap out Robbins for Tobik. Well, I mean, that run was probably going to score anyway. But still. Not a great move. As Tobik gets Thornton to pop it up. So 2 down for Bo Diaz. And Tobik strikes out Diaz and we get out of the inning. So my brain cramp allows a run to score. I probably would have scored anyway. I don't feel too bad about that specific bad managerial decision. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-1 Detroit. Ricky Henderson leading off with a ground ball to second. Next up is Trammell. 1 for 2 on the day. And he just shoots it to right field on a line caught by Matthews out there in right. That's 2 down. Next up is Gibby. Gibby's having a day. And he just hits a high fly ball to left this time around. And that'll end the 6th. We go to the 7th. 2-1. Tobik facing Charbonneau. I'd like to get Tobik through this inning as Charbonneau hits a ground ball right back to Tobik, and Tobik makes the play. 1 down for Mike Champion. He's got a base hit. He strikes out swinging on the curveball. 2 down and 2 Ks for Tobik. So here's Rick Manning. He's a lefty, so here's a good chance for him to make up for his 0 for 2 day. Nope, he's going to hit a fly ball into center field. Caught by Henderson, and that will do it for the top of the 7th. Great job by Tobik. He has definitely turned the corner. Go to the bottom of the 7th. JT leading off. Man, pound it right into the ground. I mean, it's a 74-mile-per-hour changeup. Thompson should be crushing that. Denny only at 73 pitches. He's got no walks so far. Here's Kemp. There we go. Jinxed him as he walks Kemp. So runner on first for Gary Hancock. We're hitting and running now. Let's get Kemp in motion. Oh boy. That pitch was so far outside that Hancock didn't even bother to swing. But Kemp gets a stolen base. That is his first on the season. No surprise there. That is not in his bag of tricks. And then Hancock crushes it to center field. That should be deep enough to get Kemp to third. It is. So 2 down as Gary flies out to center. Here's Parrish. Chance to drive in a run. We'll take the wild pitch. Scoring a run. Give us another run cushion. Get that run back. And bases are empty now for Big Wheel. And he hits a ground ball to Romberg. And that'll end the inning. So we're going to the 8th. It is 3-1 Detroit. Great job by Tobik. We're going to take him out, bring in Weaver, who we've seen a lot of too. And pitching much better after that 4-1 catastrophe, 4-run catastrophe back on the 11th. So let's see if he can keep things on the right side of the ledger as he faces Tom Verizer, number 9 hitter. And he hits a ground ball to first. There's 1 out. Here's Romberg. He's been on base every time up so far. And there's another hit to center. So he's got 2 hits and 2 walks today. That run doesn't mean anything unless Pagel takes Weaver downtown. He does have a home run, but I'm not going to bring in the lefty because we don't have any other righties. So this is going to be a tough decision. Oh, that might fall in though, huh? Yep, there's a base hit for Pagel. Moving Romberg to third. Let's turn 2 here with Sarge. And get out of this inning. Oh, come on. That's bullshit. As a very convenient pass ball. It's bullshit when it happens to me, but we got that wild pitch. So yeah, this is going to go badly right now. But it's a walk. I was thinking about intentionally walking him anyway. Yeah, this is about to go sideways. We're going to guard the lines for Andre Thornton, batting .283. Oh, there we go. Thornton's popping it up on the infield, and Whitaker should have the play. He does. There's 2 down. All right, can we get lucky with Bo Diaz? 1 for 3 with a strikeout today. Oh, and Beaver strikes him out on the inside pitch. Phew. All right. So it's 3-2, bottom of the 8th. John Denny's still in there, but really only at 87 pitches. Only 4 hits for Detroit as well, as Sweet Lou hits a ground ball to short. There's 1 down. Here's Wayne Gross, 1 for 12 in his career against Denny. I think Wayne Gross is probably 1 for 12 against everybody. Another strikeout. So 2 down and 3 Ks for Denny. 2 of them are Gross. And Henderson grounds out to first. So here we are, top of the 9th, and we're going to be counting on Weaver. I am not going to bring Brookins in to play third. Actually, let's just take a look at the range factor real quick. I know this is an interesting one with me, but yeah, his range is terrible. And Brookins' range is awesome. Okay, that's all I need to know. We're going to bring him in. But I mean, look at that, an 875 defensive rating. All right, we're counting on you, Brookins. Don't make me look bad. Here's Joe Charbonneau. Ground ball to Lou. Lou makes a play. There's 1 down. Next up is Mike. We are the champions. And it's a fly ball to center. Okay, so here's a lefty. And I probably should bring in Capizzello just to get this out. That's why we have him. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to screw around. A good job by a Weaver in general. We don't have another righty, so if Cappy walks Manning, we could be in trouble. And no threat of Manning hitting a home run. His power is 66. Ground ball to Brookins. There we go. All right. I pat myself on the back for maybe making the right call there as we get a 3-2 win. And no trade offers, as you can see. Nothing's popping up. Take a look at the standings. I mean, we're 7.5 back as we're almost halfway through the season and really no hope in sight. We did get the win with only 4 hits. So that just tells you what you need to know about us, which we're 3-7 in our last 10. So we're probably going to start making, we're going to make some trades and maybe some signings, like taking care of our, the players we want to keep, get them to long-term deals that make sense. A couple injuries today. Walt Terrell, 3 weeks for the Mets. Les Lancaster out for the Reds. Ty Gainey for Milwaukee. Nobody of note. Let's pull up the box score and we'll get out of here. We got a day off tomorrow, so I'll advance a day, and then I'll probably make my trades and whatnot on that day, and then we'll be back with the first game in Baltimore. Let's pull up the box score here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe. We've got some new subscribers in the last 2 or 3 days. 3 new subscribers. So thanks for joining. I don't know if you're here for the baseball cards or for this, but welcome. And 5 1/3 gets a second win. He's 2-2. George Capizzello gets his team-leading 5th save, getting that final out. Solid job by the bullpen today, too. Gibby, we're going to give the player of the game to him. Another one, actually. So I believe he had yesterday's as well. It's going 2 for 3 with the triple and the RBI. So John Denny takes the loss. He's 2-5 on the season, well on his way to the 19 losses. We're only playing 110 games. That'd be terrible if he had 19 losses in that kind of time frame. So that does it. We'll be back on what day is it? It's Friday with the next game. So until then, everyone, have a great day.